today is about teacher from Peru. Cool. Thank you, Jimena. Or yes, Jimena from Peru, welcome. And Jimena Cerrado from Celaya. Welcome too. I know you're having problems. I know internet is kind of funny these days. So today is about one of the cocos, one of the worst things for English teachers, which is classroom and group control. Okay, for some reason in the mystery of humankind, you have, no sé, segundo A de primaria, or no, let's say segundo A de secundaria, and you're teaching English at 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's chaos. Everybody's talking, everybody is jumping, everybody is interrupting you, and then at 8 or at 9, the next class, the Spanish teacher walks in and everybody's quiet. And everybody's paying attention. And you're like, how? Right? So this is something that happens a lot for the English teacher. I have a theory about that. We're gonna discuss that during this class, okay? I know Sophie is teaching, you're teaching elementary school, right? First graders?
First grades, yes.
First graders. So you teach, okay, so you teach only English or you teach the whole class, the whole classes?
Only English.
Only English.
Well,
so
it's not reading, but English.
Only English. Okay, so yes. How do your students conduct when you're having a class and then you see the means, the normal means teaching them? How do they conduct?
Well, actually, my students are not that crazy right now. I think first graders still respect the teacher, and still everything the teacher says is like, wow, the teacher said it. So I think that's like a really, really important thing. Also, we use something called, April, can you help me? What is the name? To catch attention. We don't, I don't know, we don't scold them. We use attention getters. I just forgot the word. It's like little phrases or something just to catch their attention when they're like silly.
Órale, presta atención, something like that, no?
For example, I use like, if you can hear me clap once, and so they're gonna start clapping and they're gonna start, I don't know, like pacing up.
I tengo.
So
okay.
It's, I just forgot the name. If I remember the name, I'll tell you.
Okay, good. But thank you for sharing. But we have seen this phenomena, right? Teachers or students actually conduct differently in front of an English teacher than a history teacher, than a chemistry teacher, and so forth. For some reason, well, we'll discuss that today in a moment, okay? All right, can everybody see my screen? Not if you see it. Yes, thank you, okay. So, introduction. If you see the picture, it's going to be you in some point of your life, I promise that. That's part of life. But let's see how can we manage it, okay? Can you read this? Let's see. Daniela, you here? Very not. No. Tony, can you read this, the first paragraph?
Okay. Keeping our students focused and interested in the class, as well as maintaining a good pace in a given lesson, can be very difficult sometimes for most of us as teachers.
Very good. Do you agree, Tony?
Yes.
Yourself?
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Okay. Something happens. You have prepared your class very nicely, and then you walk into the classroom, and something happens. I don't know. There was a blackout in the classroom. Somebody farted. I don't know. Something happens, and then it's chaos. Okay. So one thing is to have everything ready, and other different thing is to keep them focused and interested in the class. That's your goal as a teacher, as far as discipline comes into play. That you're going to give a good class. How can you keep them busy? How can you keep them interested and motivated? Well, let's talk about that. Losing control typically happens because, can you read this? Alanis, are you here? Alanis? Probably not. Yes.
Yes. Losing class control typically happens because something is in the lesson. No, sorry. Something in the lesson plan doesn't speak to the students.
Okay.
Or,
What does this mean?
okay.
Pause there. What does this mean? That you didn't prepare enough, and maybe you walk into the classroom. I don't know if you have seen these Cuales teachers. ¿Dónde íbamos? Have you seen these teachers? Me dicen, ¿me recuerdan dónde íbamos? ¿En qué página estábamos? What happens in that moment? What happens in that moment? Millie, you can hear me? Millie, you send me a message that you can hear me. Where are you, Millie?
Yes, I can see you, hear you.
Okay.
I think in this moment, the student don't say nothing because they don't know where stay.
Exactly. And also, when you hear a teacher, what happens, Luciana? Yes, Luciana. What happens, Luciana, when your teacher walks into a classroom and he tells you, ¿dónde íbamos? How do you feel?
Hello, everyone. I think that in that case, children get very bored, and they don't know what are they doing at this moment.
And what happens if children or if your students get bored, Emiliana? What do you think would happen if a student gets bored? Emiliana, you hear?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Oh, I think she's having problems. Okay, what happens if your students get... Yes, what happens if your students get bored, April?
Sorry, I'm just coming.
Oh, what
Just
happens
have
if a
arrived.
student gets
I don't know where
bored?
to go. I try to get them awake and to have fun, to make an activity to distract them, or what context?
That's perfect. But what would a student do if it's bored?
I don't know, maybe like...
You lose control?
Yeah.
Very good, Emiliana. Thank you. Thank you. We can hear you now. Exactly.
Okay, perfect.
Right? So if you have something that is boring or not interested or not motivated for your students will actually get bored, and then anarchy come into place. All right? Continue reading, Alanis.
Some areas of the classroom management plan need reinforcing.
Okay. Sometimes, and this is for everybody, sometimes English teachers actually assume the students know. We have discussed earlier, right? So you walk into a classroom and then he says, and you say, you're going to present, okay guys, this is past simple. Do you know what past simple is? But you haven't presented, the students don't know. And what happened in that moment, Evelyn Gonzalez?
Well, if they don't know what you're talking about, basically they're not understanding anything you're saying.
Exactly. And because they don't understand you, ni se preparó, quién sabe qué está diciendo. What happens in that moment? They break into Spanish, chaos and anarchy in your class and in discipline happens. Yes or no? Do you agree?
Yes, and they start speaking to each other. They start throwing stuff. They start being funny. That's when everything happens.
And the students actually notice it. Have you heard students saying, ah, no se preparó, teacher, ¿verdad? Estuvo buena la noche, ¿verdad, teacher? So in that, when that happens, discipline comes into play. Okay, so the following tips are based on strategies, based on some psychologists, and based on trial and error. Diego Escalona, can you read the last sentence, please, in the slide?
Okay, the one that is in black letters.
Yes.
All right.
Bold.
It says bold letters. Correct. Teacher's preparation influences 80% in discipline.
Do you agree about this? Many years ago, I went to a seminar in Mexico City about indiscipline. There was 4 hours about indiscipline. And the first thing that they tell us was that indiscipline is 80% teacher's fault. 80% teacher's fault. And I was like, ah, psh, come on. Yo qué culpa tengo que sean hijos de Satanás. I mean, you know. But then they started giving us some more information. They said, if you're not prepared enough, 80% is if you keep them busy, then 80% of discipline will be fine. But if you're not prepared enough, if you ran out of time or in the morning and you didn't prepare and you just walk into a classroom without preparation, students notice it, you lose a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds, and in that very moment, students, start misbehaving and chaos come into play. Parentheses, I hear some comments in the chat that some of you can listen to me. Can everybody listen to me?
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Emiliana.
Yes.
Maybe, yes. Okay, thank you. Okay, so probably it's if you have the microphone. Okay, thank you, perfect, thank you. So maybe you need to activate and donde dice, let me write it for them. If you can activate all from internet. Maybe that's the problem. All right. What about the other 20% of the discipline? Okay, to the other 20%, they said in this conference that thank you, Millie, 10% of indiscipline, 10% of indiscipline, it was the student's problem. Excuse me, 10%, first of all, 10% of the indiscipline was the institution. Example, have you taught a class at 7 in the morning? Yes? Have you been in a class at 7 in the morning? How do they behave? Melissa, how do they behave at 7 in the morning?
I think it depends on the age, but for example, for me that I teach at elementary school, they behave well because they are sleepy already.
They're still asleep.
Yes, so I have to make activities from them to wake them up.
Okay, Melissa, now have you taught a class right after recess?
Yes, of course.
Is it different?
Completely different. They have a lot of sugar, yes, and they are crazy about everything.
They're all smelly and popped up in sugar, and they don't even pay attention to you. Have you taught, yes, Melissa, the last hour of the day?
Yes.
That's even worse.
It's even worse, yes.
They don't even pay attention to you. So yes, 10% of indiscipline is because of the institution. Also, maybe, I don't know, who is teaching in at a school, let's say en primero o segundo grado, with the levels mixed levels.
Me.
Who said that?
Me.
Okay, can you tell us your experience, Daniel?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Well, it's different when you have the opportunity to teach those kind of kids which are in first or second grade, because their behavior is not as third or fourth, maybe fifth. They are just adapting their behavior from a different level, which is kindergarten, in where most of them learn things playing or talking much, and trying to be in another level. It's kind of difficult for them in order to assume that they have to stop talking or maybe playing or interrupting the teacher. So you have to be very careful about that, because it's not so easy in order to work with kids and in first or second grade.
Exactly. And not just first or second graders. I mean, if the levels are mixed, you're given a intermediate activity, what happens to the basic students? They break into chaos. Vice versa, you're given a basic activity, what happens to the intermediate levels? You know? So 10% of indiscipline corresponds to the institution, but that's out of your hand, unless you own your school or unless you quit. But if not, it's out of your hand. But that's only 10%. Don't blame it. It's just on 10%. The other 10% corresponds to children's problem. Okay? And normally, most of the time, it's not actually a problem for the children. Maybe mommy and daddy are getting divorced. Maybe they're sick. Who has had an hyperactive student in class? And I'm not just, not active one, just hyperactive. If you have had a hyperactive student, I'm sorry, there is nothing you can do, period. You're not a shrink, you're not a psychologist. That's 10% out of your hand. But let's focus on the 80% that we can have control, which is our preparation as a teachers, okay? So remember, 80% of indiscipline, it's your responsibility, okay? All right, let's continue. Let's talk about some of techniques. We're gonna go fast because these are pretty cool, okay? Millie Martinez, are you there? Yes, thank you. Can you read the first one? It says techniques to gain and maintain classroom control. The first topic is your reputation for effort, flexibility, and availability. Can you read the first point, please?
Yes. Learn your students' names. Oh, yes, right?
Yes, yes. Can you
learn
read
your
again?
students' names.
Very simple.
Your students' names.
Thank you. Very simple. And maybe Emiliana is like, duh, but that's obvious. But guess what? For some reason, in the mystery of humankind, students don't, teachers don't actually learn it, especially if you're actually teaching for public schools, whether in whatever country it is, they're packed with students, really, really lots of students. Who's teaching for CEP or the famoso PENIEP or the PRONI, now his name is PRONI, or somebody in your country who's teaching for public school? Melissa, you're teaching?
No, I don't teach in a public school, but I'm an English assistant. So I don't have a group. My job is to cover teachers when they are absent. So all the time I don't know the names of the students. And it's horrible. So that's why I need a TKT, because I want to be a teacher. Yeah, so.
Exactly. It is horrible. It's like,
it's horrible. It's like hell. The yellow with the yellow t-shirt, and everybody has yellow t-shirt. The one, yes, it's horrible.
It's horrible. But you know why it's horrible? Daniela, if I didn't know your name and I say, okay, Daniela, okay, you the one under the fan, la que tiene los lentes ahí junto al ventilador. ¿Cómo te sentirías? How would you feel, Daniela? We cannot listen to you, Daniela. Turn your microphone on.
I have problems with my internet connection. I feel bad because I suppose that the teacher knows me.
You know what it means in psychology, and so in your subconscious means you're not important to me.
Yeah.
That's what it means.
Exactly.
So if you don't know the names, I'm sorry, but your class is going to be chaos. Blanca, you raise your hand. Go ahead.
Yes, and it's very easy to forget the confiance between your students and you. It's very easy to lose and very difficult to get this confiance between those.
Exactly. ¿Para qué? Ni sabe cómo me llamo. That students say that. And please, by all means, learn your students. Use whatever technique you want to use, related concepts or whatever. For example, I am a fan of Star Wars, you know. So I say, okay, este chavo se ve como C-3PO, este otro se ve como Darth Vader, and so I have to learn it. I'm sorry for my dear teachers and co-workers from La CEP. They have like 400 different students. Oh, okay, I'm sorry, but they have to. It's a must. Otherwise, your class is going to be chaos. So point number one, learn your student's name. Second point, Diego Escalona.
The second point will be punctual.
Be on time. And this means if your class starts at 12, at what time you should be, Emiliana? No, it doesn't work? Okay, no worries. No worries. If your class starts at 12, at what time you should be on your class, Stephanie? Stephanie Enriquez.
Now?
I have to be
No.
At 11:30.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be 10 minutes early. Emiliana, now we can hear you. Go ahead, Emiliana. Oh, no, you had it on and then you had it, now it's off. I know, Zoom is crazy. No, that's okay, no worries. Next time. Number three, excuse me, why we should be 10 minutes early? Why do you think it's important to be 5 minutes early? Who is Huawei P3 Lite?
It was me, but no more.
Okay. Alanis, why should be 5 minutes early in your class? By the way, Alanis works for me, so.
I'm 10 minutes early because of two things. First, to have all your material ready for the class. And the other one is because the students can see that you are already interested in them and in the class. So it's not like,
Exactly. Yeah. If you're teaching secundaria, if you're teaching junior high, and your class is at 12, and you get 12:05, your students will be well behaved, waiting for you in silence, not eating. Sure, yes, right? Do you think they're gonna be? No, Jimena Serrano, how would they be?
They are a mess, really. When you are late, they are hungry. They are like, what the fuck, my teacher is not here. She is like, she's not very good. So we need to be on time for those kids because they are very, very demanding to us.
Exactly. It will take a lot of minutes to gain them in their seats. Okay, so be punctual. Number 3, Erika de Santiago. Next one. Erika, you here? Yes. We cannot listen to you. Don't be nervous. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Not just kidding. Did you find it? Is it with the microphone? Is just turn it on. Your microphone should have like a no, let me see if I can unmute it for you. Nope, I can't. All right, well, let's go ahead with the next one and try to, okay, can you listen now? No, okay, maybe it's your connection. Okay, okay, it's your phone, okay. Daniela, next one. Your microphone, Daniela.
Today, I'm in my cell phone and it's, okay. Show up after hours to encourage them, but avoid one-on-ones, sorry, sessions.
Very good. So in other words, be approachable. What does it mean? Have you had a teacher, and we call it the Kool-Aid teacher, that you just hate him? Those kind of teachers that, ay, sin sangrón, ni te la acercas. But if they see that you are approachable, what do you understand by approachable, Luciana?
Sorry, I don't understand.
Okay, what is approachable? Not a translation. How is a person approachable? Así como teacher Gerson, of course, but how is it? A person that is a, excuse me?
Can I say it?
Yes, Diego.
Okay, well, an approachable person is a person that lets the person get nearby him or she easily. So, exactly. So it's like a friend, kind of saying, like it's someone that you can trust, and he will give you an extra time or hear you.
Exactly. A person that you feel like you can trust and that you can ask questions, okay? Okay, now, next one. Mili. Luis Cornejo, que no es, pero Mili.
Backup plan in case your visual aids break.
Yes, this is very important. Guess what? You prepare a very nice class. You had a very nice PowerPoint presentation, and then you book the projector 2 weeks ahead. You're so happy because you're having the best class of your life. And then you walk into the school y Melissa te dice, porque Melissa es la asistente, ¿qué crees? Ocupamos tu proyector para el maestro de historia. It seems like a joke, but it's actually real. For some reason, schools tend to have more importance to Spanish, history, chemistry, and there's nothing that you can do. Basically, you have your classes gone. What can you do in that moment, Fanny Enriquez?
Like prepare games where they could learn words in English. Probably not the class you were preparing, but you are still teaching them English with games.
Exactly. You have to have something in backup. Because what would happen in like, ay, pues yo no me dieron mi proyector, pues free class. A ver qué hacemos en el salón. What would happen in that moment, Julissa Yáñez?
Okay, thank you.
Yes, what would happen in that moment if you say, pues no me dieron el proyector, no voy a dar mi clase, free class? How would your students conduct? Would they be quiet, paying attention to you?
I don't know.
Okay, think as a
Teacher.
student. Tony.
Okay, well, I think if you have all your class prepared and suddenly somebody comes and tell you, hey, I need a projector. Okay, what are you gonna do? Okay, you have to be dynamic. You need to improvise. You need to improvise. Okay, I'm not gonna have the projector, but I'm gonna see the way to keep these children or these adults involved in the class.
Very good. Excellent, Tony. Because what would happen if you don't do it, Tony? If you don't improvise? If
Okay, they are gonna get bored.
And if you get bored, anarchy, misbehaving, and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Okay, so always have a backup plan. Very good. Next one. Who can call? Alejandro Núñez.
I have something to say before maybe.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea in order to improvise something, but also we have to be careful because we don't have to improvise in a bad way. We need to be prepared in order to make a good improvisation. Because what could happen if we improvise in a way that the students are not gonna be connected with us. We need to make an improvisation, but a good improvisation, because if we make maybe a bad improvisation, that will be
even worse.
Yeah.
That's even worse.
Yeah,
I guess
that's
what Tony meant is like have a class prepared just in case. We discussed it last week. Remember, Alanis, about the Joker? Alanis,
Yes.
Yes, what is a Joker?
It's like that exactly when something doesn't work as planned in your lesson plan. It's like the thing that is going to save you or save your class in case that, I don't know, if in case you don't have the old material or you have free time.
Exactly. If you don't have the projector, well, I have a plan B, in other words, a plan B, right? Correct. Next one, Alejandro Núñez, please.
Okay, so involve your students in the decision-making process. Encourage them to speak out whenever you notice some sort of strange behavior, such as watching at the clock all the time or showing bored faces.
Thank you. Very good. In other words, if you having a class and everybody is looking at the watch and everything like, oh yeah, teacher. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, what's going on? Don't get mad. Ojo. Remember what the children say, Fanny, el que se enoja
pierde.
Exactly. That's a rule for all your life. El que se enoja pierde. So don't get mad. If your students are acting not normal, they may be having a kermés after the class, or they may having some sort of event. Well, then it's nice to say, hey, what's happening? Can I help you? What's going on, or whatever? And then listen to them so you can actually, maybe if it's possible, or if it's feasible, adapt your class into whatever situation comes to play. Ojo, this is only if it's feasible. If everybody is bored because your class is boring, that's a whole different story, okay? I'm talking about an event that is happening, not normal, and it's affecting your class, okay? Next one. Yes, your reputation for firmness and fairness. Number one is let me see who has the camera on. The one that he has iPhone, Tiene barba, cochucha. I don't know the name. What's your name? Yes, you.
My name is Felipe.
Felipe, my brother Felipe. Can you
hear
read
me?
the first one? Yes, I can hear you.
Man, why you've asked the class to do various things?
Very good. Very good. Okay, guys. Open your workbook, page 58, exercises 1 to 5. ¿Por qué? Porque así lo digo. Y de volada, porque ya se me hizo tarde. How would your students feel, Sophie?
They'll feel, I have no idea. I wasn't listening, I'm sorry.
I know, you're watching porn. Stop watching porn. look.
Actually, I'm watching Aladdin with my kids, so
I'm just messing with you, Sophie. Okay, what happens if I say, okay, open your workbooks, page 58, exercises 1 to 3. ¿Por qué? Porque así soy rápido, porque se me hace tarde.
Okay, so students won't learn. Maybe some of them, if they're smart, they'll answer. But the rest of them would have no clue of what to do.
Exactly. Now listen to me in a different way. Guys, let's practice present continuous. Let's open your workbook, page 58, exercises 1 to 5. So we can practice present continuous from yesterday. I'll give you an example. How would your students feel? Alvaro. No, it's okay, Sophie. Go ahead.
Okay. That's different because the words you're using, like tell the students that you're interested in what you're doing. They're going to review what you see yesterday. It's not like, okay, do it, bye. They'll feel company.
Exactly. And they will feel actually noticed and important to you. In that moment, your students will actually pay attention to you. Very simple strategy, but in discipline, it's out of the context because you just tell them why to do certain things, okay? Next one. Can you read it? Alvaro Gomez, please. Alvaro Gomez, are you here?
Yes.
Can you read the number 2?
When there's something
when
there's something unacceptable about the classroom, don't tolerate it.
Thank you.
Try to keep as relaxed a classroom atmosphere as has.
Hector?
Try to keep as relaxed classroom atmosphere as.
Hector, thank you. Very good.
Try to keep as relaxed classroom atmosphere as.
Okay. Alvaro, can you read it again?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, well, what was the question again? I got lost.
Point, when there's something unacceptable, what to do?
About what?
Oh, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so it says 1, and the second point, when there is something unacceptable.
I mean, I know what you mean. I understand.
Okay.
Unacceptable or about what? Or...
Can you see the screen, the sharing screen? The letters? Maybe not, okay?
No.
Okay. Let's ask somebody else. Julissa, can you read it?
Yes.
Can you read it, please?
Explain para them.
The next one?
Of the things. Yes.
Can you read it?
I don't hear there.
Can you hear me? No.
No.
Okay. Daniel Cárdenas, can you read the second point?
Yes. When there is something unacceptable about the classroom, don't tolerate it.
Okay, why is this important, Diego Rodriguez? Since you're an attorney, you know what I'm talking about.
Because supposed to be you're the teacher, so you're the authority in the classroom. And if you allow somebody do whatever they want, you lose the control, and it can be possible and it can be acceptable.
And it's simple like, okay, I'll give you the first rule, no eating in the classroom. Y después de 2 meses te traen los Doritos y los Chetos. What happens? What happens to your credibility, Melissa?
What happens to my credibility?
Yes.
That was the question? Ah, okay.
Yes.
I'm thinking.
Yes.
Well, I think they're not going to respect you anymore.
And what happens to discipline? When they will, when you will tell, a ver, Juanito, cállate. What will Juanito do?
Maybe he will be in silence for a few minutes and then it's going to talk again and more.
Exactly.
All the time. I think, yes, that's what I think might happen.
Exactly. Ah, sí, teacher, ahorita.
Yes.
And only started because you let them eat their chetos.
Yes.
If you have given a rule, respect it. Okay, set the example and respect it. Okay, next one. Melissa, you're here too.
Which one was the last one?
The about don't tolerate it. Number 3. So we will
Number 3.
Number 3. Thank you. Try to keep as relaxed a classroom atmosphere as possible.
Foster free communication
without being disruptive.
Very good. Look,
Okay.
Just pause that. Just one point. Thank you. Now, how can you keep the atmosphere relaxed? How can you keep it? Let's say Alanis. No, let's say. Let me see who can I pick on. Let me see. Emiliana. She had a fight with her boyfriend. Y ya se terminaron y ya anda toda así como que, ay, porque la cachó con la otra, y entonces llegó al salón, ¿y qué crees? Is she in the mood for teaching? No? Now, how should she conduct even though she's not in the mood? Emiliana?
Let's see. Can you hear me there?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Sorry, I don't know what's happening with my phone. So, well, I need to say bye-bye to the boyfriend for the class. Just until the class, I give my class, and then I can think in my problems. But in that moment, nothing about that.
Thank you. That's exactly what you should do. You need to take off your problems and walk into the classroom. And once you walk into the classroom, you're the greatest teacher. You're the happiest teacher. Your life is perfect. And everything is going smooth. Because what happens? Whatever you feel, you're going to transmit into your students. That's how you need to keep your atmosphere relaxed. If you're angry, your students will actually feel anger. If you're sad, your students will feel sad. Let's do a simple question. Tony, what happens if you see your coworker yawning?
Can you repeat it again, please?
Yes, what would happen if you see your coworker yawning? You understand yawning?
Yeah, I'm gonna be yawning.
It's contagious. Emotions are contagious. So if you walk into the classroom with a bad vibe, just a bad emotion, your class is going to be the same as your emotion and your vibe. So if you agree, not. Thank you, April. All right, next one. April, please.
Recognize good behavior and effort.
Can you read the whole thing?
Avoid sarcasm, shouting, or comparing.
Thank you. Very interesting. Very good. Recognizer, good behavior. Ah, qué bueno, Juanito. Very good. Now, avoid sarcasm. Yes, and yes, Diego.
Oh, no, I'll be back in a second. That's what I did.
Okay. Or avoid sarcasm. What is sarcasm? Ay, very good, Juanito. Very nice. Ya era hora que hicieras algo bien, mano, porque de plano. How would Juanito feel?
Happy.
Happy?
No,
I don't think so.
bad.
Bad.
It will feel bad. Blanca.
She or he feel very destroyed for himself, and it's about your I don't know how you say your autoestima.
Self-esteem.
The students.
Autoestimation.
The autoestimation are forgetting, and then it's very difficult for do it another thing. And when you take this example for do it another thing, for example, Blanca is very always going to get talking and talking and talking. That is bad. Okay, the next example, when you say, okay, Blanca writes in the board, very nice. Blanca says, no, I don't wanna do that the teachers do, or that the teacher says, and I don't wanna do, or I don't wanna participate in the class because the teachers hate me and I hate the teachers. Always is the same exact example. Your microphone.
Okay, thank you. I was just checking if you were paying attention. For example, if you're teaching tercero secundaria, and then to Juanito Perez, and Juanito Perez has a sister en primero de secundaria, and Juanito Perez is a mess, but Juanita Perez is a really nice girl. So anyways, you say, Juanito Perez, ¿por qué no eres como tu hermana? What would happen in that moment, April?
He will feel very bad. I mean, you're comparing him with maybe his worst enemy, kind of.
You're going to lose him for the rest of the school year. And that's going to be your worst nightmare because now, qué maestro culé, vas a ver, la bala mía, espérate. Right? So avoid sarcasm. I am sarcastic. I love sarcasm, but I have to refrain and not doing it. Avoid comparing, avoid shouting. Now, what is shouting, Sophie? Oh no, Sophie's not here. What is shouting, Daniela?
I can answer. Just my video won't be on.
Okay, yes, Sophie.
Okay, shouting is when you do like this. Pay attention.
Exactly.
It's not good for anybody.
Exactly, it's not good for anybody, right? You can raise your voice. A whole different story. It's very different to raise your voice because you're given some sort of instruction to actually shout. Shout means to intimidate. Actually, in psychology, means I am superior to you. So imagine your students, how would they feel? They will actually feel, like Sophie said, destroyed. Okay, so let's move on. Next one. Your knowledge of the content. El coco de todos. Welcome to the new ones. Diana, are you here? Maybe yes, maybe not. If you could turn your camera on so I can pick on you. I'm sorry, I can ask from you. So yes, Diana. Hello.
Yes. Hello.
Where are you from?
I am from Paraguay. I'm
Paraguay.
working. That's why I turn on and turn off my camera.
Oh, okay. So you're teaching right now?
No. I just on the office waiting for some clients. That's why.
Can you read at least a line? Can you participate a little bit?
Yes.
Okay.
What
Well,
point I have to read? Sorry.
no, it's okay. That's okay. Luciana, can you read the first one, the first point?
Yes. Yes. Your students will notice this on the basis of your ability to answer the questions.
Thank you very much, Luciana. Where are you from?
I come from Uruguay, Montevideo.
Wow, very nice. Thank you for coming. So,
Thank you.
very interesting observation. Your students will notice how much do you know from a topic.
Answer the question.
If you hesitate, listen to this. If you hesitate given a topic, how would your students respond, Diego Rodriguez?
One more time, please.
Yeah. If you hesitate, you're presenting, let's say you're presenting person perfect, and then you hesitate means like you're not sure. Así de, a ver, ¿cómo era este? Lleva el presente, no, a ver, ¿cómo era el pasado participio? A ver, aguanta, ¿cómo? How would your students feel and respond to you?
Maybe they will consider me not prepared, and they will say like, it's nervous. Maybe he doesn't have idea, and it could be a problem if I can't fix it.
Así de, no sabe, teacher. Uy, eso que es maestro, imagínate. And what happens in that moment? Blanca, you're going to say something, please.
And you lose the class control?
Actually, yes, you lose control of the class. You lose your credibility. Pues yes, okay,
They won't
maestro.
trust you.
Sorry, Emiliana, say again. Repeat it.
They won't trust you.
Exactly, they won't trust
you. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you. Very good. They won't trust you. They won't trust you, and therefore anarchy comes into play. Can you read the following points, Daniel Cárdenas, please?
Yes. Here says how you handle the questions.
Very good. Continue.
If one student asks, many students are wondering, so don't leave questions for the end.
They're very good. The way you handle the questions, very interesting comment. Teacher, ¿y por qué es así? Y ya sabes, el maestro culé. Porque así es el inglés. Porque así es. What kind of answer is that? Porque así es, that's the way it is. That means, you know what that means? That means that you don't know. That's actually what it means.
Yeah, we're underestimating the students.
Exactly. It's either way that you don't know or that you are too proud to teach them. Either way is bad. Either way causes a very bad effect in your students. Yes, Blanca.
And sometimes, sometimes when you are a teacher, it's maybe an institute like a secondary, like a high school, like a primary. But if you stay in some institute, always the students take class in another school from English, or it's like the Fero. In the Fero, we have some students that are from other institutes in the other school, and when you don't prepare your class, say you teacher in the school, say me this idea different, and you say yes, but for today you are with me. No, teacher. But in the other school, my teacher say me that that's bad idea, or that is not good your class. And you say, yes, but I prepared before the class, and this is the topic, my beautiful student. And the student repeat, no, teacher. But in the other school, or my other teacher say me that I'm very intelligent. And you say, yes, but quiet, because in this class, no. In your mind, but you have to control that. And if you don't pay attention for the topic or your how do you present the class, is always the same idea. Teacher, always the students and always the very always the same problem.
Exactly. Es que en la otra escuela dicen que sí. And you're like, okay, but I don't know. In other words, if you don't know the answer, what would you do, Emiliana? We can hear you.
Now?
Yes.
Yes. Excellent. Okay. Maybe it's better to tell them, well, I'm not sure, but let me check that. If you don't know the answer.
Exactly. Very good. If you don't know the answer, don't say, pues porque así es. O don't say, pues no preguntes. O como Blanca dijo, pues así es y se acabó. It's better to say, like Emiliana said, you know what? That's a very good question. Let me do some research. That will be my homework, and I'll give you the answer tomorrow. That will actually make your students respect you more than just make up some answers. Okay? So, master your knowledge of what you're teaching. You should master it. Okay? If you don't know the answer, don't make up the answer. Just say, I don't know, that's human. I'll let you know. Now, what would happen, Tony, yep, if your coordinator said, you're going to teach literature 1 starting tomorrow?
Okay, oh my God, I'm gonna have to be prepared. If I'm not prepared, yeah, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Okay, I'm not prepared, but I can get ready for the class.
Exactly.
And I think we also need to keep in mind that we're not only teaching. We're gonna learn from the students either.
Exactly. Very good answer. In other words, if they ask you to do literature 1, and you don't know, you have either 2 ways, or prepare and do it.
Yes.
Or if you don't or you can't, don't accept it. Really. I'm sorry to say that, but it's very bad to walk into a classroom not mastering whatever you're going to teach. The students will eat you up. Simple as that. It's bad for your self-esteem. For real. Many years ago, like 20 or 15 years ago, I taught in Tec de Monterrey, the ones in Mexico City, or in Mexico, the country of Mexico. Know what I'm talking about. It's one of the most prestigious universities. And they had this program called bicultural program, something, that's un nombre así medio raro. Anyways, eran estos chavos that they spoke very good English and they didn't have higher level to accommodate them in the levels, okay? So they make up and invented some bicultural and different program, and they had it. So I had 2 Koreans, 1 English girl, 1 American, and 2 Mexicans. I had 6 students, okay? And I was supposed to teach literature 1. My coordinator told me, Gerson, you're one of the best teachers. Would you teach it? Do you feel competent enough? Y yo así de, of course. Guys, the worst year of my life. For real. I mean, it was I have never taught, it wasn't English, it was literature. You know, Shakespeare and all this kind of stuff. Worst year of my life. Thank God I finished it up. Next time, next year, my coordinator, te salió muy bien otra vez. Que no, muchas gracias. Send me another program. But yes, if you don't master it, it's better to say no for you. If you feel that you can actually prepare on time previous to the class, do it. Okay? All right, continue. I'm going to start calling on people that don't have the cameras on, but if for couples, okay, let's see. Jimena Serrano, can you read the next one?
You hear me?
Yes.
Request for clarification. Invite the students to give a try first in case the question seems too basic for the level.
Exactly. Maybe your student is eating flies like April now is doing it. I'm just kidding. and she's and he or she is not really paying attention.
No, I'm here listening to you.
I'm just giving you a hard time. Anyway, so and
I know.
just speak on them, ask them to do a second try. Daniela, can you keep reading?
Request for invites.
We read that. We read that. If you were paying attention, I'm sorry, avoid sarcasm, right?
Sorry, I can see very well. Off-topic questions, provide a brief answer depending on the situation. Don't be afraid of resorting to college in case you don't know the answer.
Okay, we discussed that, but off-topic questions, okay? You need to be very objective and determine if that question has been asked for real interest or just because they want to lose time. For example, es que teacher, ayer en the Big Bang Theory escuché que Rajesh dijo something else. What does it mean? Nothing to do with your program. The question is, would you answer or not? There is no right or wrong answer. You need to determine. If your student is asking, you need to check if that student is actually asking to know. If the student is asking for losing time, engage on your nerves, move on. Ya, Juanito. Next topic. But if Juanito really wants to know, answer it. Why, Daniel Cárdenas? Why you need to answer an off-topic question, even though, if it's genuine interest?
Well, I think maybe it could be positive in order to gain your students' confidence.
Exactly.
Maybe it's not a good idea to answer all the questions or maybe all the topics they try to introduce to the class, but most of them are needful in order to gain your students' confidence. You have many different types of answer. You don't have to give them the right answer maybe or the specific answer, but maybe in some way you have to try to keep the conversation. Don't stop it. Don't shout the children, and maybe don't say something bad to him or her or to them, because maybe sometimes 2 or 3 or 4, maybe 5 students ask the same question at the same time. But you have to give the answer in order to control the class and also to gain the confidence of your students. Because if they notice that you feel maybe uncomfortable with the question, or maybe you are not willing to give them an answer, that will be very worse for you, because your students maybe can manage the situation against you. In another time, maybe they are not going to pay attention, or maybe they are going to misbehave on a worse way. So that won't be very helpful for you.
Exactly, because of 2 ways. First, no supo la respuesta y eso que es maestro. And secondly, if you ignore your student's question, that means that your student is not enough or is not important enough for you. That's even worse. If you don't know the answer, we discussed it very nicely from Emiliana, that you should not answer it. You should say, Juanito, buena pregunta, te contesto mañana. And that's it. Very good. Okay, let's move on. Keeping the students focused and wanting to learn. Very interesting. Let's see, can you read the first point, Melissa Navarrete?
Sure. For adult learners, use words such as why, because, and you.
Well, that was the second one, but that's okay. Can you read the first one?
I thought we were talking about the first one.
Oh, that's
The teacher.
Uh-huh.
Okay, the teacher must be able to explain the content clearly.
Okay, yeah, I see what you mean. Yes, we discussed that openly. The second point is, read it again.
For adult learners, use words such as why, because, and you.
Excellent, very good. So this is not just for adults, right? For all children and adults and teenagers. Try to use the magical words of thank you, please, and say why you're asking for something, because that means that you're interested in them to learn. Okay, and that they are important to you. Continue reading. The next one is the Diego Escalona.
Okay. Involve your students in the topic about repeating only what the textbook says.
Exactly. Very important. You want to elaborate a little bit more on this, Diego?
I'm sorry?
Do you want to comment on this?
That I would like to give a comment on this. Oh yeah, for sure. Okay. Well, I'm okay. From experience now that I'm teaching, there's gonna be times that the textbook sometimes it's not very reliable. Textbooks always some textbooks are some file. So you better be how to say it, ready with the topic that you're gonna show or whatever, because sometimes books miss to tell us all of the all of the info. How to say it? For example, I'm teaching Japanese, and most methods that are designed in Spanish to Japanese, they mistranslate a lot of things. And then when you have with the actual Japanese, there's differences from what the book say to what is true in Japanese. So that's what I say. Don't rely too much on textbooks. Just use them like as a guide or a step-by-step guide to know how to lead your class. But I always try to learn from all of kind of places, like I don't know, if you like English, well, you have exposed more to English. There's something that they call podcasts. There's like a lot of how to say it,
resources.
Yeah, there's a big polyglot community in internet.
Very good.
So you can find like, I don't know, podcasts for English, podcasts for idioms, grammar, whatever. And that's a way to increase your own skills, being always exposed to your goal language.
Very good. Okay, so what would happen? Juicy, hello. Hey, so Juicy, I know you're an experienced teacher. What would happen if you just follow the teacher's edition by recipe?
What would happen if what? I didn't hear you.
You know the teacher's edition of the student's book, right? There's a book that you open it, and the right, you have the student's page, and on the left, you have the teacher's edition. By time and activities, and even tells you what to say word by word. If you follow it, if you just follow that, how would your classes be?
I usually don't follow that. I make my own classes different. I try to rely on that, but not 100%. I just do it like, let's say I get the idea to make my class, but I don't follow it because sometimes it is for a different type of class. I know my class, I know what they need, and if I follow that, maybe in some circumstances it's going to be harder for my class, or it's going to be easy for my class. That's why I get the idea with a teacher thing. I get the idea and then I make it and I arranged it as my class is what it needs, you know?
Because you see, if it's too easy for your class or too hard for your class, would your students be comfortable with?
I'd rather teach them more if it's easy and go ahead and go to a different level. And if it's hard, lower it a little bit.
So you make it easy for your students. You make it appealing to your students, because otherwise, if you follow the book by the book, your class is going to be boring. Let me repeat it again.
It's going to be boring. It's not going to be interested.
Exactly. Thank you, Yusi. If you follow the teacher's edition, your class are going to be boring. Okay? All right, next one, Emiliana, or no, excuse me, Millie. Millie, next one.
Jerson, I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
I can't hear you.
Can everyone else hear me?
Avenida Industrias también.
Yes.
I can hear you.
Yes, everybody else can hear me. I can hear you.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, ready?
Yes.
Bring the students to the front of the room whenever you have a change.
Okay,
Yes.
can you read it again?
Bring the students to the front of the room whenever you have a chance.
Do you agree with that, Millie?
Yeah,
Yes,
but the
because
problem is that I can't hear you.
Okay, let me answer Daniel. Daniel, maybe if you log off and log in. Okay, Millie, why do you agree?
Because we have a different ways to learn: visual, auditive, and kinesthetic. Some of them need to make the activity. If they just watch the board of the projector, they're like, oh yeah, sure. But if they write on the board or they act or something, they can learn even better when if they are kinesthetic. But if they act the other students who are visual, they can learn for the other students, you know? They not just my example, it's example for the other student too.
Exactly.
I guess.
No, very good answer, Millie. Very good. So whenever you have the chance, passation to the front. Presentation from the students. And next one is Sophie, you're here?
Yes, I'm here.
Can you read it?
Yes, hold on. Where are we?
Oh my Lord in heaven. Stop watching porn. Pay attention to the class, Sophie.
I know, I'm sorry. What point are we?
If you have a highly
capable student who attempts to dominate the classroom, invite him to be your assistant for the day.
Everyone in the classroom every classroom has one or two leaders, yes or no?
Yes.
I always want to talk, Yes, Sophie?
It's quite useful to have him to have him or her as an assistant, because you give him some responsibility, and if he or she finishes first, for example, I have one student, so I put him to help his classmates, and they are like, oh yes, help me, now it's my turn. And so he feels important, and he feels noticed, then not just like, okay, you're finished, sit down, wait for your students, your classmates to finish.
Exactly. And yes, funny.
I think it's good, and at the same, it's not that good, because sometimes when you ask them questions, they are always like looking at that person that always answers, and they're waiting for him to answer, and so it makes them, the rest of the class, to be like always waiting for him to answer. Like they don't know, how do you say it? No se esfuerzan
They don't make an effort
to answer, because they know that he's going to answer. So you have to like really know what to do with those kind of students, because the class becomes very like, he's going to answer.
Exactly, exactly. And you will have one or two leaders that are like too active. Or you will have one, and this is, get this, eh? This is very, very funny. You will have one or two students that are too intelligent. Really, they're normally a child's problem is because he or she is too intelligent. How's that sound? The thing is that he is too intelligent that he gets the point and then gets bored. So breaks into play and he becomes a leader. So, ¿qué? Juanito, vente, tú me vas a ayudar. Es más, mira, porque tú eres bien inteligente, me vas a ayudar a revisar las tareas. Oh, ¿en serio? Ah, pues, claro, pero no le digas a nadie. Tú eres mi brazo derecho. Y tienes a Juanito en joda, doing all the homeworks y ya te liberó tareas, ¿no? You keep him busy. That's the real answer. Keep them busy. Those kind of guys that are highly capable or too intelligent, keep them busy. That's the answer. If you don't keep them busy, chaos and anarchy will raise in your classroom. Okay? So keep them busy. Next one, I think it's the last one of this slide. Yes. Last one, Felipe, you here? I don't think so. Melissa? Can you hear,
Yes.
help me? Oh, Felipe, you here? Can you read the last one of the slide, please?
It says, if your exam questions and your handouts all agrees with your lecture, students will pay more attention in class. Is that correct?
Very good. What will happen, and this is something that you should avoid, eh? Ah, pues ahorita en el examen me los trueno. And then you give them some questions that had nothing to do with your classes or had very little to do with your classes. And Daniel is like, oh, teacher, well, guess what? It happens. For some reason in Mystery of Humankind, there are teachers doing that. Don't do that. If your students are used to know that whatever you're teaching, listen to this, whatever you are teaching is going to be in the exam, guess what? What would happen to your students? What happens, Fanny, if you say to your students, today's topic va a venir en el examen? What happens to your students?
They pay attention, like really quick. They be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna write this down.
Exactly. Nancy, you're here, right? You're Nancy, right?
Yes, that's me.
Thank you, Nancy. Can you turn on your camera? Just for the fun of it? That's good.
Okay.
Thank you, Nancy. Okay, yes. If you say, okay, this is going to be in the exam, your students will actually pay attention to you. It has the other effect. Instead of saying, ahorita me los friego, make it easier for you or for your students. The students will actually learn. I had this in Tec de Monterrey. I had this co-worker, this co-teacher. His name is Roland. He's a German guy. Anyways, he used to do every week a quiz. Okay, and then he didn't tell anything to the students, but every one question of every quiz he took one question for every quiz and had the midterm exam done. ¿Sí what I mean? O sea, sacó una pregunta e hizo el examen. One clever student se dio cuenta. He was like, oh, ya viste, son las del quiz. ¿Neta? Sí. What do you think it happened on the next midterm exam? Everybody aced it. Would that be cheating? No. Actually, students study. They memorize all the quizzes. That's okay. That was good. You know what I mean? So if students know that whatever you are testing is in the program or is whatever you're teaching, your students will actually pay attention. Okay, let's go to the last ones. Responding forcefully and fairly to challenges to your authority. Ándale pues, ándala osa. Nancy, I don't see your camera. Diego Rodriguez, can you read the first one?
You handle chances by making the challenger appear silly in front of his or her peers.
Así de, ándale pues, Juanito, pásale al pizarrón. Estás, pero sí, mira, pásale, ándale. Y a ver, y le pones una bien difícil que conteste. Why? Why would you do that, Jimena Serrano?
Because he needs to learn that first of all, to pay attention and to keep them like in your class because they need to pay attention or they can answer all your questions and they have to learn that you are the authority on the classroom.
Very good. I'm gonna after the class I'm gonna be sending you the specific name of the philosopher and the specific name of the type of teaching. But this philosopher, I remember it was Socrates or Aristoteles. He said he will ask questions like why, no? He was living among other philosophers and he was why and why and why until the person didn't know what to answer. When that person don't know what to answer, you break their self-esteem and like, ya no sabes, que te voy a enseñar. Same with a person that is challenging your authority. Es que así no es, maestro. Está mal escrito, maestro. No, es que así no es. A ver, mijo, ven, pásatele. A ver, enséñanos. Ilumínanos con tu sabiduría. Break their attitude and then he will actually recognize that he's a student and needs to be taught. Okay, next one is the Jimena, the other Jimena. I saw another Jimena, Jimena Castellano, no cierto, Castillo, sorry.
Castillo. Anticipate the questions and complaints.
Again, 80% of your indiscipline is preparation. You know your students. You know that Juanito Pérez, ahorita mañana Juanito me va a decir esto. So you anticipate to whatever the questions are going to be raised. One step ahead. Okay. Next one is the Luciana, number 3.
Yes. If the students point out that your lecture is redundant, have a second lesson planned in reserve.
If it is
reasonable.
Thank you very much, Luciana. What does it mean? Ay, maestro, pero si nos lo dieron hace una semana pasada. Ya no lo dio, maestro. You have 2 ways. You have 2 answers. Pues para practicarlo. What is the danger of doing that, Nancy? Since you're not turning your camera on and no me pay attention to me, answer it.
I'm sorry about that. Can you ask me the question again, please?
Oh, my Lord, sí. Eso pasa por no prender la cámara. So anyways, so what would happen if the student says, ay, es que, maestro, ya lo vimos la semana pasada. Okay, you have two answers. One is saying, pues para repasarlo. What is the dangers on doing that? What is the dangers?
Well, they will, first, I think they will lose interest because they'll be like, oh, I already know this, so I don't have to pay attention anymore. That would be kind of like a danger. The other, it would be like, yeah, like, well, that's the main one.
Exactly, very good. That's the one I was thinking of. They were like, ay, otra vez, and then break into Spanish, and then break into chaos, and blah, 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 blah. The second answer is, if you have plan B, go for it. The ideal is that you don't make mistakes, that you should have all your programs well defined and know what to teach and not repeat your classes. But hey, we're humans, and we know we're almost perfect and extremely sexy, but we make mistakes, okay? So if you make that mistake, you have to waste, okay? If you say repeat it, that's the dangers what Nancy said, or have a second plan and doing it. Okay, next one. Diego Rodriguez, por favor.
Hold on.
Student is persistently.
Oh my Lord, Diego Rodriguez watching porn.
Yeah, no. If the students point, yeah.
If the students, yes, thank you. Yes, please.
If the students points out that your lecture is redundant,
no, excuse me, we read that. The next one. I'm watching porn. Okay. I'm not watching porn. No, the next one.
Okay. If a student is precisely, nosely, point out the most of his classmates want to learn, and he's interfering with this.
That's when it gets to a point that he's too noisy. A ver, Dieguito, ya, los demás queremos aprender. Let's move on. Okay, so because it's you in that case you do ignore them. Don't give them the importance. Not ignoring the person, ojo, not ignoring the person, ignoring the attitude. That's different. Okay? All right. Next one. I think it's the last one. Dealing with hecklers. What is a heckler? A heckler is a person that is always on to you. A person is like, oh, nowadays it's called hater. Similar to the hater in the social media. Okay? So how can we deal with that? Elsa Yolanda Cuatin, are you here with us? You're almost sleeping. I know, and your country is very late.
No.
Thank you for being here.
No, I'm fine. Okay, thank you.
Can you read the first one?
Okay. Yes, of course. At the adult level, these are people who have chosen to believe lies that make them feel morally and intellectually superior.
Thank you. That's a heckler. And for some reason, no sé si los papás así los educaron, I don't know, but they're like, the teacher is not intelligent enough, I'm more intelligent, es que yo viajé a no sé dónde, es que yo he leído, es que yo he visto, y a mí yo, Juan Camaney y los demás, pelation me. You will have one or two in every classroom. Okay? Don't worry. We're gonna know how to deal with it. Juicy Perez, are you here? Can you read the next one?
Yes, I'm here. Which one is it? I was answering
my Lord,
a text
another one
message.
watching porn. The second
No,
point.
I was answering a message.
Sure. Sí, como no. Aquí estoy.
Which one is the second one or the first one?
Second one, too.
The second one, this the heckler's strategy will be to portray as you radical right, radical left, or close-minded, scientific, dogmatic, ignorant of new data, or maybe a malicious oppressor of a human race.
Have you seen the movie School of Rock with this Joe Black?
No.
If you have the chance, watch it. You have Sophie?
Yes, I do.
Remember the movie?
Actually, it was one of my favorite movies.
Yes, and you remember the movie? You're the man. Fight the man. If you have the chance, watch it. That's what it is, no? So yes,
Okay.
people are like that. Thank you, Yusi. People are like that. You know, some people are like, ah, no, pues es que tú eres malo, tú no sabes, tú estás viejo ya. How can we deal with that? Okay, here are some strategies, okay? How to neuralize heckler's attack. Can you read this, Daniela, number 1? I cannot hear you. I think you're saying, Gerson, you're the greatest teacher, the most handsome.
Sorry again,
Okay, sorry.
sorry. As much as you can, try to act sympathetic rather than angry.
Very good. Remember, el que se enoja pierde. That's a universal rule. A heckler that is on to you, that's what he wants, to get you in your nerve. So if you're sympathetic, if you're calm, if you relax, that's the first rule to neuralize that person. Next one, Alejandro Núñez.
Ask the heckler, why did you believe that?
Sí, es que yo no creo en eso, teacher. Yo creo que los aliens sí llegan en julio. Okay, why do you believe that? You know, like, next one, Melissa Navarrete.
Ask the other students, did I say that?
Yes, you made a mistake. Sorry. Thank you, Melissa. You made a mistake. You're gonna make mistakes. You know what I say? You know what I say when I make a mistake? I say, well, I'm almost perfect, I'm extremely sexy, but I made mistakes. Or the beautiful question, ¿a poco sí dije eso? Did I say that? Sí, teacher. I was just checking if you were paying attention. Don't make a big fan of it, because the heckler or the student that is making fun of you, that's what he wants, that get you in your nerve. Next one, Jimena Serrano.
Ask the other students, did I say that?
No.
We said that.
Next one.
Next one.
Say to the heckler, I appreciate and share your concern about. However, what I was actually trying to say was, and I am sorry you were not available to understand that.
So a very polite way to say you're stupid. Okay, so it's like a very polite way to say, I'm sorry to you understand that, but what I tried to say, and then, if you say that to that student, what the other students will say, Sophie?
Ooh.
Exactly.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Exactly. Ooh, teacher. Ooh, Juanito. And that's how you neuralize a heckler's attack. Next one. Felipe, por favor. Per favore. You hear Felipe? No. Oh, probably not. Erika de Santiago, can you?
Is the one that says make the issue?
Yes,
right?
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Make the issue rise an interested group subject. So someone find out about literature.
Right? Thank you.
That's correct.
No, teacher, yo no creo en eso. Yo sí creo que vienen los aliens en julio. Y tú así de, ay, Juanito, you again. A ver, everybody, what do you think about that? Do we have aliens in July? Listen to my tone. Listen to what I'm saying. Daniel Cárdenas, do you think I'm actually raising the question for interest? Because I want to know. Your audio.
Yes, based on your gestures, maybe no, because
No.
you have to show both of them. Maybe you are trying to redirect the question to the others, But with your gesture, you are showing that you are not interested in. So.
Exactly. I'm just raising the question or the topic to everybody because everybody knows Juanito. And guess what? What do everybody is going to say? Ay, Juanito, otra vez tú. Ya cállalo, maestro. Ya, neta. And that's how you neutralize another attack.
Okay, on the previous, teacher, on the previous slides, you said don't be sarcastic, but I think in this case, you need to be sarcastic, right?
Yes, let's put it this way in a very polite way. You need to make your students silly or be sarcastic. And okay, parenthesis, this may be contradictory, but it's not. We're talking about a heckler, a person, a student that is on to you, against you, that has something against you or against your authority. You need to do it so you need to break it, in other words. And it sounds tougher, but that's the way it is. Erika de Santiago, can we listen to you?
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Erika. Next one.
Okay. Ask the other students?
No, we're in the last one. Last one.
The last one, okay. Ask the header, why do you believe that?
No, the last one. What it says, when the heckler
Make it
falls...
so. When the heckler falls back on radical skippings, you actually believe in of the rest of the class is obviously hostile to the heckler. It's time to ask the rest of the class. Should we move on? And they will be grateful.
Exactly. When there is nothing else to do, when Juanito Pérez is still on to you, no, maestro, es que sí, de veras, yo lo vi, es más, yo ayer vi un ovni. Llega un momento that is like, okay, Juanito, we can discuss as a recess, let's move on. Tan, tan. Okay? All right, next one. Oh, I think it's the last one. Okay. Questions. I'm going to stop sharing, okay? So, let me ask you something. Oh, very nice group. Let me ask you something, guys. Out of these topics, or out of these strategies, out of these tips, which one are you going to, or you planning to apply this week in your classes? Which one do you find more, well, we're not in front of a classroom, but which one do you think you're going to apply, or which one do you like the most? I'm opening to questions and answers. Oh, thank you for raising your hand. I'm going to ask on Luciana for voluntarily answering to me.
Sorry, I don't understand.
The question is, what do you like the most about the tips? Which tip do you like the most? You can say in Spanish if you want to. ¿Cuál te gustó más de lo que aprendimos hoy? ¿Qué te gustó más? Ándale, pues, I forget my Spanish. ¿Qué te gustó más de lo que aprendimos hoy?
Everything.
Thank you, especially for the teacher, right? Okay.
Lo que me resalté acá en los apuntes fue que el que se enoja pierde.
Thank you, very good. That's a very common saying en México. ¿Lo dicen igual en Uruguay?
No es muy dicho acá eso, pero...
Aquí es la ley desde chiquitos, a que se enoja pierde. Very good. Thank you, Luciana.
Thank you.
Vicky Martínez, hello. Can you listen to me?
Hi, yes, perfect.
Can you share what you like the most about the today's topics?
I love the point about have a plan B. When I have that chance, I use the time for review some topic that I know that they have some problem with that. Or maybe I can use it when I have a smaller groups, I can use it for talk about something.
Okay.
For a conversation class that it's good for them because they lose the fear to speak.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Vicky, for sharing. What
Thank
about
you.
Denise? Hi, Nancy, Denise. Vaya, until we can see your face. Just kidding. Tell us, Nancy, Denise, what do you think?
Well, I kind of came in late, but
Yes, I
from
know.
what I've heard, yeah, from what I've heard, I tempt to fall back on just like teaching what's on the textbook, and I don't really, especially right now, how we're teaching online, so we kind of have to follow that. So I've been wanting to like make the class kind of like entertaining, maybe dressing up or something. But I just feel like, oh, the parents are gonna be watching, and yeah, it's kind of like embarrassing. But I guess that I've been relying on that, and that tip, well, yeah, I liked it. It made me think about it again.
Thank you, Nancy. Very good. Thank you for telling me. Anyone wants to share? How about you, Luis Cornejo, que no es Luis Cornejo, pero es Mili?
Well, everything that you said is true because we have a lot of different students, and well, if they are teenagers, they used to be like that. They used to be, they lose control or they lose the attention so quick. So you need to have plan B, C, and D because they are like not all of them are the same way to learn. So you have to have a lot of plans. So I guess that everything is true. You need to put attention on your planation, but also you need to have a lot of information in your computer. You need the jokers, you need a lot of videos, you need a lot of things, because if you're not prepared, they're going to eat you alive.
Exactly. They notice it. They're like dogs. They smell your fear.
Yes,
for real.
like people.
You know, they're very interesting. Jimena Castillo, you said that in Peru they're teaching. I mean, they're open for presential classes.
No, teacher, we don't have presential classes. We have virtual classes.
Virtual classes.
I said me too because you said that in Mexico you use quien se pica pierde. In Peru too. It's very common phrase.
Quien se pica pierde. Quien se pica pierde.
For several topics.
See, don't say that in Mexico. We have a different connotation.
That's not a good slang here.
Yeah, that will have a very different connotation. Sí, ya ve los morbosos de mis compas. Ay, Dios mío. Anyways. So,
I like to add something.
Yes, you see.
For the girl before you that said about the kids that they don't pay attention for a long time, that's really true. On my experience, I work with kids on preschool, from kids from 3 years to 6. And we have the 3 types of children, which are the visual, the kinesthetic, and we have the auditory, reading and writing. My classes are basically attacking the 3 types of kids. I put videos for the visual, got little kids. I put music for the auditory kids. And the kinesthetic, I play with puzzles, Play-Doh, and all of those kids are playing and working with their skills, you know, and they work in the same class. I make my class with the same thing, but different strategies, you know, attacking the 3 types of kids. And if it's been working for me like for 6 or 7 years, and it's very good. It's very good. I don't rely on the book 100% like the other girl said, because I do what it's for good for my class.
Exactly. Thank you, Yuzi. Very good comment. All right. Very good. Anyone else wants to share something? Otherwise, yes, Jimena Serrano.
Well, for me, it's very interesting because I just gave classes to adults, not for children. But it's very interesting and very useful to hear you too, because I want to give classes to children too. It's a very good and useful things that you are talking about.
Thank you very much, Jimena. Thank you very much. And this is just a small part of the course. The ones that have been with me for some time now, like Diego Escalona, Diego Rodriguez, of course, he's my friend from long time ago. And we, Alanis, that have taken this course. Actually, Alanis, Diego Escalona are teachers working for me because they have taken this course, right? Diego Rodriguez, he's a perito and he wants to be a perito translator. He's a MP. He's a member of the Ministerio Público, or in Peru or in Uruguay, no sé cómo le digan, but it's about the police for the big guys. So so I know him from a long time ago. So whatever experience I have, I will convey for you. Okay, I have lots of resources, so I can help you out. Thank you very much for coming for today. What I'm going to do now, if you allow me,